Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into some really profound ancient wisdom that's, believe it or not, perfect for our modern lives. This all comes from the discourses of Satya Sai Baba. We're going to go on a little inner journey, and we'll be using two really powerful metaphors to guide us, the chariot and the ocean. So our whole exploration really kicks off with this one simple question. Seriously, think about it. It's not asking what's on your to-do list for the day. It's asking, why are you even here? It's a call to look past the daily hustle and find that bigger reason, that deeper purpose that this life is all about.
Okay, so before you start any journey, what's the first thing you do? You got to understand your vehicle, right? Well, for this journey of life, our vehicle is us. This amazing, complicated, incredible human form.
And this right here is the central idea that can completely reframe how we see everything. It asks us to see our body not as who we are, but as a sacred chariot. And inside this chariot, there's a divine passenger, an idol, which is our true self. Suddenly, all the things we do in life, the working, the laughing, the crying, they become secondary to just honoring this incredible presence within us.
So let's get clear on this term, Atma. What is it? It's the immortal self. It's that divine spark, the true master of the chariot, the silent, eternal passenger on this wild ride through time. And just recognizing that, well, that's the first step to actually getting a grip on the steering wheel.
Okay, this table breaks it down brilliantly. So the body is the chariot. Our intelligence, our booty, that's supposed to be the driver. The senses, they're the ropes, or maybe the reins, pulling the chariot along the roads of our desires. And who's sitting quietly inside? The self, the Atma, the real boss. And the destination for this whole trip? Liberation, or moksha. So here's the crucial question you have to ask yourself. Is your charioteer, your intelligence, in control of the reins, or are your senses just dragging you down any old road they feel like?
But let's be real, every journey has its roadblocks, right? And on this inner path, the obstacles come from two main places, from deep inside of us and from the world all around us.
First up, we've got to deal with these guys, the 6 internal thieves. These aren't enemies you can see. They're hijackers that pop up from within. Just think about how anger can just grab the reins of your chariot, yanking you way off course and into a ditch of regret. Every single one of these thieves steals our peace, our clarity, and our courage.
So, if those are the internal problems, how do we handle everything coming at us from the outside? This beautiful image gives us the answer. The world is like the water. We need it to grow, we can't just escape it. But we have to learn to be on it, not swallowed in it. We've got to stay untouched by the chaos and the drama, just like a lotus leaf, where every drop of water just rolls right off, leaving it perfectly pure and dry.
So, we get our vehicle, we know the obstacles, but what about a map? Where are we even going? The good news is, there's a really practical path laid out for us, and it's one that turns our everyday duties into something sacred.
This map is basically built on 5 great sacrifices, or yajnas. And don't worry, these aren't some complicated rituals. They are simple, powerful things you can do every day. First, for God, just making your home a sacred space. Second, for the sages, by reading things that inspire and elevate you. Third, for your parents, treating them with the respect they deserve. Fourth, for guests, being hospitable to strangers. And last, for all beings, showing kindness to the animals that share our world. See, it's a roadmap to a life filled with meaning and love.
A map is great, but a good traveler also needs the right tools, to keep the vehicle in shape and stay on course. So let's look at the spiritual tools we need to have in our toolkit.
Okay, so at the most basic level, we're always facing a choice between two paths. There's boga, that's the life of just chasing material pleasure, always giving in to what our senses want. And that path ultimately leads to disease and disappointment. Then there's yoga, the path of spiritual discipline, of learning to regulate the senses. And that path leads to real, lasting peace. So it really comes down to choosing discipline over a quick, fleeting pleasure.
A lot of us think spiritual practice is just about sitting in silence for hours. But here's the real test. The success of your meditation, it's not measured by a clock, it's measured by your character. Ask yourself these questions. After your practice, do you love more? Do you speak more kindly? Maybe talk a little less? Are you more eager to serve others? If your practice isn't actually changing your attitude toward the world, you might be missing the whole point.
All right, here's our first tool. Think of bhakti or devotion like it's a mirror. We should use it not just to feel good, but to take a really honest look at ourselves. It lets us see the dust of envy,
the little patches of pride and the stains of hate that build up on our hearts, because you can't clean what you can't see.
And if devotion is the mirror, then jhana, or wisdom, is the comb. This is the tool of clear thinking, of discrimination. When our feelings and emotions get all tangled up in a big mess, wisdom is what allows us to gently straighten out the problems, untie the knots, and smooth everything out so we can think and act with real clarity.
Okay, so our journey is going to wrap up with one last really powerful parable. It's a timeless lesson that comes from the ocean itself, and it teaches us all about the importance of being vigilant. So just picture this. There's a great sage walking along the beach, just watching the endless waves. And he sees the huge ocean carrying this one tiny, dry twig, pushing it along from wave to wave until it finally washes up on the sand right at his feet. The sage was totally amazed by this. He thought, wow, what an ego the ocean has to reject something so small. But then the ocean spoke, and it explained that this wasn't about arrogance at all. It was an act of self-preservation. To protect its own purity and majesty, it couldn't allow even the smallest impurity, not even a tiny twig, to spoil its nature. It knew that letting in just one small thing is the first step toward your own ruin. And that brings the whole lesson right back home to us, doesn't it? The ocean of our heart has to be kept just as pure. So the final question I want to leave you with is this. What is that one tiny, seemingly harmless little twig of desire or attachment or negativity that you need to cast out today to protect the vast, pure ocean of your own inner peace?